Oh, that time of year.
Man. You get that fire really going, and then you realize that it's been unseasonably warm outside, and then we're having a fire, one in an unventilated basement studio.
Not safe.
But I got to tell you, it's real cozy.
Feels nice. Yeah.
It's real cozy. It's been a banner year for the Steve and Kyle podcast. One, I would say filled with ups and downs.
Sure.
A lot of downs. And
I think we ended on a high note. I mean, we're 3D printing masters these days.
Right. We're about to ditch the podcast, which I've been begging for about 3 years, so we can just become full-time printersmen.
Just sitting right here on the counter now is the clocking ring for an NP231 into an XJ.
Man. And that's what I was thinking when I saw it.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to, I didn't want to take the opportunity away from you to describe to me what that is. When I look around the studio, I look back on the year that was, and I realize it was really a year of broken promises. I'm looking at a jug of Crown Royal that we had said we were going to drink from every week.
I think we did that twice.
Did it like twice. I see a shelf of candy.
Yeah.
That's got to be outdated at this point.
Yeah.
We've got extra merch tossed around here that we're going to be maybe donating, or not donating, but like sending out to a person who partook in
to a listener in need
exchange. We haven't done that either.
Yeah.
We were going to do a vote every week on stickers on which we should add to the wall. We did that once.
And I don't think we even looked at the results.
So a year of unfulfilled promises has gone by, yet the podcast somehow endures.
It was a year of trinkets, too. I feel like
it was,
especially in the last couple of weeks, as our Bamboo A1 with an AMS Light 3D printer provided by LGS Electric.
That's in Ilion, New York.
Has just been working overtime. So our house, the studio is just filled with little 3D printed trinkets. Right. But that's not the only trinket that came up on the podcast this year. Way back in January, I think it might have been our first episode of the year. You came into the studio wondering what the little trinket was.
There's something else on the table here. Is this a viewer mail time that was opened previously?
No, that was
it's a glass piece.
Yeah, so I am happy to report that I'm 1 for 1 with projects in 2024.
Wow.
This is about a month and a half or 2 months ago, I started noticing when I was driving, whenever I would take a turn like at speed, say I'm on the highway and kind of going around a bend, I would hear something in my car and it would roll from one side to the other.
Okay.
And I was like, what the heck is this? I couldn't figure it out. So this morning I went out in the garage. I was like, let me just see if it sounded like a marble rolling around, I don't know, underneath the carpet or something. So I moved both of the front seats all the way forward, tilted them up as far as I could get them, and just started rooting around, looking around. Had the vacuum back there. I was like, maybe I'll suck something up.
Yeah.
Maybe like I dropped a coin or something. And then I pulled the carpet back underneath the passenger seat, and I see this little yellow thing in there, and I was like, what the heck is that? And it looks like I could only see the top half of it, and I was like, that's a marble. Why would there be a marble in there? And then I managed to knock it loose and I pulled it out. But it almost looks like, I don't know, like a wine stopper, but it's yellow. And
it's got the face of a, but that is too small for someone who's I've had wine in my life.
Yeah.
That is too small for a wine bottle.
Yeah. It's like a wine cork, but at like 60% maybe.
Well,
it's bright yellow. It's got 2 black dots on the side, and it looks like there's a part that had chipped off, which I would assume if there was something there, it looks like it was red or orange.
Right.
So I'm thinking, is this a little like rubber ducky? That's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And it's the color of it. Well, I have a couple of observations here.
So I have
look at this.
It's not mine. It's not my kids. So I'm just assuming the, previous owner dropped something, was transporting their like fancy knickknack collection, and it.
Well, let me here, because we're technologically advanced enough that when you take a picture of something,
oh yeah, you
my
can do
fan's a Google
like
phone.
the reverse image
Because
search
yeah,
or whatever.
it's like a marble, but with a stopper, almost like you would kind of see on the end of a pacifier. But again, you wouldn't have a glass pacifier. Like it's just that type of shape.
Especially a miniature one that seems like it would
It would just be inhaled.
I don't
and
think
kill a kid.
Yeah, I don't think that the
Okay, I'm looking
FDA
through.
or the whatever the organization oversees pacifiers would allow that.
I'm looking through the Google Lens results here, and there are just a ton of different shaped rubber ducks,
Okay.
which, as we determined, is not true. Oh, wait. I think we might have a
got
hit.
What do we got? What is it? Let me see the picture.
I'm thinking it's a car thing.
A car thing. Okay.
It says it's a carb cap.
Carb cap?
A glass carb cap. Would that be something that makes sense for a car, like a carburetor?
I mean, carburetors haven't been common on cars in the last 40 years.
Huh.
My car's a 2020.
Yeah,
So,
this is...
What is a carb cap?
Okay, let me
Is
click
it
on the
like
link
an-
here.
oh,
I
is
am
it-
on something called Hillside
Is it
Carb
a-
Caps, glass carb caps.
Oh, is it a drug thing?
Oh, no.
Is this like a...
Oh, no, wait a minute. Because did you... So you're coming off a murder Jeep. Not that long ago.
right. Now I'm...
And now you've bought a drug runner car?
I possibly bought a cartel car.
I clicked the link and it just brings me to... glass carb cap, but that's the shape. That's
Okay.
what we're looking at right here. I mean, this is one that looks to be like a candy cane,
Let me see. Yeah.
and that's the same thing as this. That's okay.
All right. So we got a carb cap to cap
So this
our
is
carbs.
from this link brought me to something called Hillside. And when I look at Hillside Glass, oh yep, it's a drug thing.
Could we be any less?
Oh my god.
less informed?
Their main page. Listen to these terms because I'm about to blow both of our minds.
Okay.
There's a water pipe,
Okay, I understand that.
a rig,
Nope.
quartz, which I'm guessing is just a different carb caps. Now here's where we're gonna a dabber,
A dabber. Okay, I've heard of dabs.
a bubbler, a chillum,
Chill 'em.
a downstem, a nectar collector.
Oh, that's fun. Nectar collector.
You had someone. That's a drug thing.
It's a drug thing.
That is. I can't say shocking because it's not like drugs are. I'm guessing that. I hate to continue to sound this ancient. I'm assuming marijuana.
Why would you assume that?
Oh no! Here we go. What is a carb cap used for?
Okay. Yeah, that's
Man, a carb cap is a dab tool available in many colors, styles, shapes, and sizes. Seal the bucket on a nail or banger after the dab has been dropped in. Okay.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
How would Google think that's answering what I need?
It may as well have said a carb cap is used to cap your carb.
Is that the type of thing do you plug a bong with it? Do you plug a bong?
Yeah, I think so.
Annette? Is Annette the resident drug user around here?
You know something? Annette drives my car from time to time.
Seems like we have a touch of a conspiracy on our hands.
Seems like Annette's taking some joyrides to cap carbs from time to time.
Well, this is shocking, and we can only assume what happened in that vehicle now before you, buddy.
I was going to throw this out. I'm going to set
That's
it
got
up.
to go on one of the memento shelves now.
It's officially a trinket.
That is. Thank you for finding that and bringing that for us today.
Yeah.
I've never felt more out of touch with society or a different group of people than I do right now.
I have. I mean, I walk through life every day feeling like I don't belong here.
Well,
So,
listen, we
this is just another
read
example.
we read Japanese anime volleyball porn less than 6 to 8 months ago, and I felt more in touch with that community
Yeah.
than I do with the carb cap community.
Well, look, now we know. Now whenever we're out and about, and maybe we're sitting at the bar and there's a couple of youngsters next to us at the bar, and they say, "Hey man, you got a carb cap I can cap my carb with?" Yeah. Let me just run home and get it off my trinket shelf.
So are you thinking just maybe carry that around as a conversation piece going forward?
And just roll it out on the bar and be like, oh, sorry, that's my carb cap.
I mean, there's two avenues to look at it. And one is that nobody's ever asked you for a carb cap as of now. So why would they?
Just see, I don't know.
Like
you
drugs?
think it would smell like something.
And the other train of thought is you haven't had somebody ask you for a carb cap yet, so you're due.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It'll be perfect to put in the little, the fifth pocket on my Levi's.
You know what you need to do as a test when you have people or friends or whatever come over, or family? You need to bring that upstairs as a toy for Nikki B and or Evelyn.
Yeah.
So when families and other kids come over, she's playing with that, and you just kind of observe. Mm-hmm. Do those people know what that is?
Do they know?
Are they about to ask you what that is?
Are they down with the carb cap?
Yeah. And then you've got some carb cap pals going forward.
Just what every adult needs.
That's right.
Carb cap pals.
I mean, I don't want any pals. You want them. So
I do.
Now you have yet another in.
I'll take them any way I can get them. I just want friends in some way.
My mind immediately jumps, Steve, to what I've asked you numerous times over the years is, how are you going to supplement your life when the monkeys hang it up? Mm-hmm. So, of course, I'm thinking you're running some type of narcotics now.
Well, I mean, now that...
Using small ceramic duck heads.
Did we determine that it is a duck, though?
No. Well, I think we may have, because it appears that the red nose may have
a
popped
beak
off. But you know what? We've got that printer now. We can just reprint that beak, super glue that on there, and you're back in your narcotic running business again.
Yeah, now that we know what a carb cap is, because we definitely know what it is.
Speaking of unfulfilled promises, I look up at the big board after you and I spend plenty of time digging through the audio archives of this podcast, and I see what the Steve and Kyle Olympics were supposed to be in the year 2024, and we were supposed to do quarterly feats of strength.
How many did we do?
So I think the 2025 Steve and Kyle podcast, your Olympics feats of strength, is going to have to take shape.
How fast do you think you could run the 100 meters?
Oh, we're doing this now.
I think so.
Yeah, right? We have to do it.
Okay.
But I think we need to do it in the spring.
No.
You want to do it when we're about to have our very first snow of the winter on Tuesday?
Yeah. I mean, we could head out to a track today.
I mean, we could. I mean, that's something that could happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Put on my running shoes. I think I could do it in... Let's see.
Before you answer, let me Google the average time the human runs 100 meters.
I mean, if the world record is it
in
sub
the
9?
nines?
Is it sub 9? Okay.
I don't believe it's sub 9. For most people, sprinting ranges from 20 to 40 meters per second. How fast can the average man run 100 meters? Beginner at age 35 is 30 seconds.
What?
And I feel like I'm already just thinking out loud.
30 seconds.
I'm smoking that.
I would destroy that.
Yeah, the world record time is at least when this article was written, was 9.58 seconds.
Okay, so 9.5 seconds to run 100 meters.
Oh boy, the USA women's record is 10.49.
I think I'm going to be in around 14.
Oh God.
You think that's
I think that's aggressive. I do. I think 100 meters is longer than we're anticipating looking at down the track.
Now, what is... I always get it confused because I'm thinking 100 yards. 100 yards, I can... In my brain, football field is a meter...
328 feet.
Okay,
so a little over a football field.
So it's a football field plus, the end zone on one end. Gosh, I really feel like I could do it in 14 to 15 seconds.
So beginner runners are defined as faster than 5% of other runners. Novice runners are defined as faster than 20%. For me, I'm obviously putting myself in beginner runner. Okay, and I'm already planning on running 100 meters and having shin splints.
So, at what meter do you think your shin splints are going to kick in? Are you in? Are you
into
the double digits?
I think I can get to the 40 meter mark before I'm going to feel it.
Before you pull up lame.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I mean, you got you got Oinky the Pig's ticker. Plus, don't you have like a cadaver ACL? Not ACL. What did you tear?
I have a fake Achilles. Not a fake Achilles. They just they yank it up with like a pry bar and sew it with hay.
Tie it back together.
Yeah. So the average,
you're basically the $6 million man,
except much cheaper and using animal. Would you put yourself in the beginner or not? Because listen, you've run marathons, Steve.
Yeah.
You used to run for pleasure.
Boy, I would say, but at this point, I haven't run in 5-6 years.
But if you were to
probably.
say, like today, would you, defined as faster than 5% of the runners, 20% of runners, 50% of runners?
50.
So you're going to put yourself in the intermediate category.
No.
Okay, so beginner, not. So you want, we'll just call you novice, and I'm definitely calling myself beginner.
Okay. I'm going to go novice. Yeah.
So it's not much difference between the age group of 35 to 40. So novice to run the 100 meters is 25 to 26 seconds.
25 seconds?
You think you can beat that?
I could crush that.
Okay. So we're going to put...
you get a little
You've
measuring
got the
thing.
doc. We'll save this later. Because I think we give ourselves 1 to 2 weeks. And we can plan and have either Annette or Katie or whoever video this. Mm-hmm. Because I would like to run the 100 meters. And then I would like to have Reed run the 100 meters.
Let me just tell you. I will crush Reed at the 100 meters.
Because for me as a beginner...
He's going to be stopping. He's going to be picking dandelions.
He's also, he's 5. He's so dumb.
Yeah.
They're kids, man.
Doesn't even understand what a race is.
No, he's not going to understand. He's going to try to pull your pants down.
That's like when Evelyn, every now and then, she says, I'm going to show you my super speed.
Yeah.
And she runs around the living room. She is so slow. I can walk just as fast as
It's
her.
incredible how slow they actually are.
Yeah.
For me as a beginner, in between the age group of 35 to 40, it's estimated between 30 and 31 seconds.
I think that you're underestimating yourself.
I'm not. At least I don't think. I am quite positive. I am a horrific runner.
Let me say, when we do this, when we gather at the track,
This is happening,
on
by
that
the way.
fateful day, are you going to do any kind of prep work, or are you going to show up in jeans and your Dada Supremes?
No. I'll be showing up in shorts and probably a knee brace and maybe taped ankles.
Now, are we running it? Are we racing each other?
I think no. I don't want to make this a race because I know I would lose.
Okay.
And 2, I kind of
want... Thank you, by the way.
No question. There's no question. Okay, you've run marathons. And I'm not saying it's about speed. I also don't know if I have the stamina to make it 100.
I could trip.
Right? You never know. I think we're going to do this. We're going to get it on video.
Uh-huh.
We'll play it live on we'll cut it together, play it live on the podcast, so we won't reveal it. We're not going to live stream it because I don't want some people to know the results before it airs.
No, of course not. But this will be available on all the social media channels. We'll throw it up on YouTube too.
Should we make this the year of physical challenges?
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that.
Maybe one of us let's empty the coffers and go buy a weight bench so we can lift one weight.
Well, even if we just do 4 physical challenges throughout the year, 1 per quarter.
Not a bad idea. Yeah.
I think we can do that. All
okay.
Right, so it's set. We will be, within the next couple of weeks, in the next 2 to 3 episodes, you will hear the results of us running the 100-meter dash. Do you have a quick prediction as to... Give me a window of time that you think you can finish this in.
I think 30 seconds is a fair estimate, and I think 20 seconds for you is a fair estimate.
Okay. I think
actually, I'm giving you so I'm bringing you ahead of the novice category, which estimated you at 25 to 26. I'm putting you closer to intermediate at 20. You're really thinking you're 4 seconds slower than the fastest woman on the earth.
4 seconds is a long time.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a long time. Let's pause for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not as slow as I.
I mean, but granted, a woman running 15 to 20 miles per hour.
Yeah.
That 4 seconds
God,
looks.
I feel like. I mean, I think I was aggressive when I said what did I say?
14.
13,
you said 14. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna bump mine back to 17 to 20 seconds.
Okay. And I think that's a good goal.
And I think you'll be 25.
I'm shooting for 30, and Oinky stays inside.
All right, so it's set. We're going to do this.
No, we are not. We are definitely not doing that. At least not in calendar year 2024, because as we said, it is just 2 days before the end of the year. I really doubt that me and you are going to strap on the running shoes and head out to the track in the next 48 hours. Right?
I'm excited, though, because 2025, this is happening.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, we are running the 100 meters. I have shoes for it. Okay, I am prepared.
That's right.
I've lost some weight.
I know, and you did it. You got a 5K under your belt this year. That was this year, right?
Got the slowest 5K known to man under my belt at this point. So things are looking up as we enter, well, hopefully a shortened winter season here, and we can move on to spring. But I'm a big season guy, Steve, and so I'm already considering upcoming Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes me a little bit nervous because if I remember correctly, I set out some lofty goals for Valentine's Day a year ago.
Say it's 3-4 weeks before Valentine's Day. You say to her, Katie, remember last year with Valentine's Day, how we just did nothing? That was perfect, right? And she, chances are, would say, yeah, that was great. No pressure. It was wonderful. Let's do it again this year. All right, sounds good. And then you go out of your way to make the biggest deal of Valentine's Day and really make her feel like crap. So, dinner plans where you got to dress up. So she has to go out and buy like a gown.
Yeah, or either that or I bought her a dress.
Oh, yeah, that works.
You know what I mean? And like, hey, it's Thursday. You know, put the shiny shoes on. Get in the car. We're going.
Would you have any idea if someone had a gun to your head and said, you need to go and buy a dress for your wife right now?
Right.
Do you have any idea what you would pick out?
None. I wouldn't even know a color. Let alone like one strap, two straps, no straps.
Oh, I love this idea as a challenge.
Should we both go have to buy
Dress shopping for our
dress for our wives? I think, oh boy.
They'd be like, oh, how tall is she? I don't know, like this high?
Got any dimensions? This looks like about.
Yeah.
I do like this. This is a good piece of content where Steve, you and I, and then we'd have to have Katie and Annette both look at it, try them on, and then rate it personally.
No, I couldn't do this.
What do you mean we have to now?
No, I couldn't. It would be such a shot to my ego. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Well, but I don't think it should be taken personally, the fact that you and I would not have an iota of a clue about what looks good in a dress, right? Or what appeals to that person in a dress. I could probably count on two hands the number of times I've seen Katie like wear a dress.
In a dress, yeah.
And it's mostly, big gatherings, weddings.
Sure.
Bat mitzvahs.
Been to a lot of bat mitzvahs.
Ton of them. A couple quinceañeras.
I had no idea you were so multicultural.
Yeah, obviously different dress cuts for each event. We have to do this.
Okay.
Well, we'll get approval from Annette when we go upstairs. I figure if we both ambush her when we're leaving.
No. See, I think if we're going to do it, they can't have any idea that we're doing it.
Yeah,
it just has to be because your anniversary's coming up.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, so this is an anniversary gift?
It's an anniversary gift.
No.
Suddenly
So
you're
what's
out.
your excuse?
Well, I just have to wait until November.
Oh, okay. So we're going to stagger the unveilings of this. So
When is Katie's birthday?
November.
Okay. Well, if you want, it could be an anniversary gift for Annette and a birthday gift for Katie. So that way they're falling in approximately the same time.
No. This
is
is too far away. We're not waiting until November because we'll forget. This is happening. So I have a side question for you for this quest.
All right.
Where do you buy dresses for women?
Old Navy?
Oh, okay. So we're going to the Gap, and we're going to ask them about dresses.
Yeah, Forever 21.
No, this is happening. We're doing this as content, and then again, we're going to have to videotape
and then get a out of 10 rating from each of them about what they think we picked for them.
Okay. So it's going to be like an episode of, granted, I've never watched it, but I can only assume that this is like Say Yes to the Dress.
Right.
Where we pick something out, and then they go in the dressing room, and then they come out wearing it.
Yes.
And everybody either cheers or boos.
But in this case, it's just the person cheering or booing.
Right.
And I know Annette well enough. She's not sparing your feelings one bit if this dress sucks.
I could buy something for Katie. You could buy something
Oh,
for
this is a great idea.
That way.
So we're already making...
My feelings aren't getting hurt
Right.
if Katie doesn't like the dress I picked out.
Yeah.
Who are you to tell me what kind of dress
Yeah,
I can pick out?
And what do I care what Annette thinks? Right? This is a great idea. And also making an already very difficult task a lot harder. Like a lot harder.
Yes. And you can't use Katie to help you buy a dress for Annette.
Sure. No.
And vice versa.
I would actually appreciate...
How awkward is this going to be when we get together? Because obviously we will plan this, and I'll say,
it's a full
we're
event.
Gonna, Kyle wants to know if we want to grab drinks tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Sound good? Yeah, let's go out and grab drinks with them. I show up, you show up, and we both have boxes that are wrapped like presents.
Well, we're all meeting here or at our house. It doesn't matter which one.
No. I think it has to be at a restaurant.
Well, but they need to be dressed.
Right. Well, they can go in the restroom.
Okay. We're taking, again, an already really hard job that we've given ourselves, which is find a dress our significant others will like, by flipping that on its head and saying we're going to buy one for the other significant other.
I just love the idea of putting your wife on the spot in public.
Yeah.
And I say, Katie, I was out the other day and I saw this and I thought of you. Mm-hmm. And so I picked it up for you. Hand her the box. And then she'll obviously be uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And I'll just stare at her and be like, you going to open it? No, right now.
And everybody's uncomfortable, except for me and you, because we know what's going on.
Oh, I'm still very uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. And then I do. Then she opens it and is very uncomfortable. And then I reach down and do the same. Said, "You're not going to believe this, but I was out also." And Annette, I saw this and I thought of you. So here's what I'm hoping happens out of this, because one, this is absolutely happening. 100%.
No, this might be.
We listen. I love this. We're building up a year of content. We only have.
God, I don't know if I've ever been more nervous.
We have 6 weeks now where you and I have to run 100 yards. Yes. Or 100 meters. 100 meters.
100 meters.
Because that's our Q1 athletic feat of greatness.
Yeah.
And now we have to go shop. But the shopping thing we're doing together. We're going to where I don't know where we're going because again we don't know where dresses are sold. But we're going out.
Claire's? Can you buy a dress at Claire's?
Is that the place where like the 6-year-olds get their ears pierced?
Yeah.
And then like a week later, like, hey, my daughter's ear's about to fall off. I don't know about Claire's. We'll add it to the list.
All right, so Old Navy,
The Gap.
The Gap, and Claire's.
Yeah, and maybe Forever 21. I don't know if that's makeup or clothes.
All right, well.
Now my wife will be, there's a couple days where she works later, and I also work from home. Mm-hmm. So for me to, one, figure out where she hangs her dresses, because I don't know, and two, kind of look at how dresses are they numbers? Like, is it a letter? Dress sizes?
Yeah.
For me,
hey, I need a dress size L. No, not large. It's just L, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K.
Yeah.
L, right? Oh, you only have M?
For me, I've got all the time in the world to do that. But you, Annette, who's home, there's a decent chance she's going to see you
snooping through her dresses
and have 1 million questions about what you're doing and why. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to need you to come up with, you're going to have a cross-dressing story. Some other avenue to explain away why you're like,
sure,
head deep in the closet, whipping dresses over, trying to find just a letter or number. Again, we don't know what they're using. A letter and a number. Okay.
R9.
The Steve and Kyle podcast dress off.
Oh boy, this is gonna be something. I don't know if I've ever been more nervous about anything in my entire life.
I cannot wait to buy Annette a tuxedo.
Yeah, just another unfulfilled promise in 2024. I still think that's gold, though. That bit is gold.
Yeah.
We need to do it.
We need to incorporate because neither of our wives listen.
No.
So it's essential at this point. I mean, we could talk about this openly. I mean, at this point, you and I 5 feet away from either of them, and they wouldn't hear us.
They do not
they're
listen
just,
to us.
They're just used to the rambling and mumbling. So it's essential that we somehow bring that to fruition on video this year to see our shocked wives' faces when, again, Annette opens up a tuxedo and somehow Katie has a ball gown that they then have to go and try on immediately and put on a brave face.
Maybe we amend it a bit, and for Valentine's Day, I get your wife a dress, and I'll just I'll pass it off to you one day when we're doing the podcast, and you can put it under the Valentine's tree at your house.
Yep, the Valentine heart tree.
So Katie comes out in the morning, comes out of the bedroom, and you're out there, and you have coffee set out for her.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple little gifts. Then the bottom one is from me.
From Steve. Steve said Happy Valentine's Day. And that, if you could go ahead and open it promptly so we could see how this pans out. It's beautiful. Well, another theme on this podcast that has taken on a life of its own over the years, Steve, is your and I's propensity for a couple of guys who I wouldn't say are overly creative to create some characters for this podcast. And this dates back to, Captain Bowling. And later on, you're going to hear about another character we made with Captain Crash. Real theme going on here, if you couldn't tell. But this one has to do with something that you and I have run into being fathers. Again, you twice the father as me because you have 2 times the kids.
Yeah.
What do you do
What
with
I
all the
say
crappy
here,
artwork?
you may be offended by it, but I assure you, no offense. The pencil holder looks like
Look at this thing.
it's not good.
Now, here they are, 2 guys who are living in style, Steve and Kyle.
Boy, am I happy that you included that clip in the intro.
I stand by the quality of 12-year-old Kyle's clay work.
There was a lot of comments about it on social media. I saw it described as looking like 2 ice cream sandwiches that had been smushed together.
There were some differing opinions.
Some right.
That I
Some
would
wrong.
say for humor. Because it's easy to get lost that very vulnerable,
Yeah.
very art-adverse 12-year-old Kyle put that together and not mid-30s Kyle.
Well, I think it was your good buddy Chris in the UP who pointed out, Kyle, you weren't being graded on its function. You were being graded on its form. It was an art class.
Yeah.
Now, if you had been taking a build an indestructible pencil holder, no matter what it looks like, you probably would have gotten an A. But if you haven't seen this picture, by the way, just at Stephen Kyle on social media, Kyle's amazing pencil holder from when you were 12, you said?
Yeah, 12 years old. This happened in 1999. Friend Brad Altvogt. First glance, it looks like 2 ice cream sandwiches smashed together.
I thought that there couldn't be a better description.
Our friend James Hortman, who we need to get on the horn here in the coming weeks, he has gone through in the span of months and listened to this entire podcast.
Yeah,
Said
all
at first-
400 some episodes.
At a glance, I thought you'd crammed a bunch of pens into a grilled stuffed burrito. Which I got to tell you, that's not even like layering it in. That's just smacking it on. That's just heavy-handed, James.
It's such a perfect description, though.
I am trying to see some of the Twitter comments as well because, I would say differing views. Mike Moker said A+. Thank you, Mike. Good man.
Yeah.
Tim Fuller looks like an old piece of bread that's about to get moldy.
How do you feel? Are you thanking him for that one? Or
No, I did. I sent him a pretty rude response back. Brian Krause says durability is an A and presentation is a C, so a B seems reasonable. Well, I don't think you're reasonable, Brian. Dan Scheich makes me want a sandwich on a pretzel bun. And we received multiple comments on both multiple platforms about former teacher Mrs. Kuhn referring to Kyle as a she. And what could possibly be an accident, but could possibly have been her way of trying to, rib me a little bit. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe she was trying to light a fire under you.
Perhaps. It didn't work. Did not get along with Mrs. Kuhn.
What was that class?
That was, I believe, like the language arts. I forget what the exact title of it was, but yeah, whatever that would be called in 7th grade, right?
Okay.
So, thank you to everybody for checking in on 12-year-old Kyle's artwork and making me feel proud about what I accomplished back then. You wonder why the arts are dying, Steve.
And it's because you think it's because of this? Because kids aren't motivated. They aren't being given their proper due for their unbelievable work.
Yeah, I think last week was a real fork in the road for me. I bring my 25-year-old artwork in here, and maybe, just maybe, if I get the validation, the pat on the back, the encouragement that my soul so needs, maybe this week I'm out there, painting.
Really?
I think that was a turning point for me.
So this was a possibility.
And last week, and then during the week, with the very rude comments from a few of our listeners, I think drove me down the other direction. And I finally had to close the. If I had a box of dreams, I put art in that box.
Along with your paints and your colored pencils.
Along with being athletic. And along with having a head of hair.
Okay.
And having a normal human heart for all of my life. Again, those are all dreams I've had throughout my life.
Yeah, and they're just sitting in a box.
Yeah, I was 9 years old and I'm like, gosh, I hope my heart stays the same forever. But now, it's in the box.
Those flaps being closed, maybe some packing tape coming out. Packed up and just kicked out the front door.
I've given it to a local boatsman, and they're just going to dump it in the middle of the lake. That's where those dreams now reside.
At the bottom of a lake.
The bottom of a lake because of the comments, the hurtful comments of some that listen and also co-host this very podcast.
I preceded everything last week by saying no offense.
No, it's true.
So
that is true. And to be fair, that was the only negative thing you said. Granted, it was devastating and hurtful, but it was the only thing that you had said that was directly negative.
Yeah, it did not look good. Not look good at all.
Where are we going to be at? Because we both have kids entering that phase of life where they like to try, maybe not try new things, but they're even in school doing different art projects, things like that. Are we going to have to be, Steve, the encouraging, great job, this looks fantastic, you should pursue this as a lifelong avenue, parents? Well, or are you going to treat Evelyn like poor Kyle's dreams?
Did you hear that, by the way?
That was a good one, man.
Amazing.
If I didn't get so exhausted with tracking those down every week.
I don't know what's up with my mic today, but it sounds different, and it was like my throat itself was mic'd perfectly.
Boy, that'd be nice. We should have like one of those, just a tiny one, almost like you'd see in Mission Impossible.
Little lavalier.
Yeah, and just on your throat, just on your vocal cords.
But anyway, we digress.
Or much like me in my dreams you did last week, are you going to nip them in the bud if she gets to a certain age? You're like, hey, the finger paints are still coming home looking like crap. She needs to know that plumbing is a viable outlet for her.
I think that I will be the stereotypical, great job, you can do it, follow your dreams parent.
Yeah.
I don't think you will be. I think that you will.
I'm incredible right now.
Yeah?
I'm so good, man.
Okay.
This kid is pumping out some of the world's worst art on an almost daily basis.
And you're giving it rave reviews?
Man, this kid is grinning ear to ear after I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I'm pumping this thing up like we're in the Louvre, Steve.
There's no better feeling than seeing your kid be proud about something. It's going to be unfortunate years from now if these episodes are still floating around on the internet and somebody says, hey, you want to hear what your dad said about your artwork 15 years ago?
Right. Yeah,
So,
but, man.
look, we have a unspoken but now spoken contract between us and the listeners.
But is there stuff that you see around the house now where you're like, oh, God, I can't wait till we can, like, sneak that off the fridge in the middle of the night when she's not looking because woof.
Yeah, we've had a couple of incidents where I kind of blame Annette too because she'll do it a lot when
She doesn't listen, blame away.
she'll do it when Evelyn's in the room. She'll find the need to be like, oh, well, we're gonna take this down now, or we're gonna.
No.
What are you doing?
Yeah, no.
Like, wait until she goes to bed, and then we just throw it out. And where'd that go? Oh, I don't know.
Oh, it must have been gone. What are you even talking about? I don't remember anything there. That's the
like we don't need to explain everything.
the shroud. Here's the two things working in parents' benefit. Okay, because I would argue when you're a parent, 98% of everything is stacked against you. Mm-hmm. Okay. Last week when we walked upstairs, your daughter was having an issue because they were going to go play in the backyard and she wanted to play in the front yard.
Yeah.
In that regard, 98% of parenting is stacked against us.
Yeah.
We're never doing the right thing in the kids' eyes, whatever. We have two things working in our favor. The Shroud of Darkness, and they're really, really dumb.
Yeah. Yeah,
If you combine those forces like part of Captain Planet, but this is Captain Parent, and it only has two stones.
Oh boy, I think we just come up with a new
character?
A new character that is very loosely based on something that's already very popular.
Very loosely based on current IP that we would never infringe upon.
No.
So Captain Planet, Steve, let's run this down because if Captain Planet, you grew up with Captain Planet, right?
Yeah, Captain Planet. Remind me though, because that was very fringe. Was that like
It was PBS or something?
a bunch of like elements combined or something?
Correct. So it's kids. I forget their age group. Again, it's been forever since I've watched it. Would have rings for
like
earth, wind, water, fire.
Doesn't Earth kind of encompass all of them already?
I really think they needed four, and I don't want
redundant?
to put a lot of shade on the 80s and 90s. I would bet that was the token black character.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
But I believe it was earth, wind, water, fire. But I'm pretty sure, because my friends and I would do this in high school even. We were really cool. And we were sitting around playing cards or whatever. And if someone put their hand out and would say wind, the key was to not be the last one, which I now remember, was heart.
Heart?
Pretty sure Captain Planet had 5 things that would get put together.
Oh, see, I thought it was just 4.
I'm trying to pull it up because right now we're embarrassing ourselves is what we're doing.
Yeah. And this obviously very important that we get to the bottom of Captain Planet.
Yeah, Captain Planet. Oh boy, yeah, heart power. Mati's magnified heart power in the form of a male blue-skinned superhero avatar with a green mullet, and he possesses all the other Planeteer's amplified powers, along with standard superhero powers. So yeah, he's absolutely those. But instead of that, we now have Captain Parent.
Okay.
And so we only have 2 items for Captain Parent right now.
So
where, again,
we have darkness.
The Shroud of Darkness.
The Shroud of Darkness. We have child stupidity.
Yeah. The Shroud of Darkness and stupidity. Those are the 2 things helping us.
But you have to it has to be specifically child stupidity.
Yes.
So it doesn't sound like the stupidity is part of us.
Right. I don't want to get lumped in with kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they're dumb and we're not.
All right. What else can we do that kids can't? We can drive.
Fire, wind, water, heart. It is confirmed.
Yeah. Driver's license.
Just mobility. Yeah. Right? Those kids bump into everything. They're so dumb.
Yeah.
So Shroud of Darkness, child stupidity, mobility.
Line of credit.
Oh, yeah. Financial reasoning or line of credit. Absolutely. I don't know how we're going to develop this into a full-fledged character. Oh, man. I'm just looking now at Captain Planet. And what an 80s and 90s image this guy is.
Okay.
I mean, like, red, almost like a halter top, Steve,
Oh, good.
with shredded metallic abs. I mean, look at this guy.
I mean,
and look at the hair.
Pretty much describes both of us to a T. Already.
Right.
Oh, he's got like a blue flat top into a mullet.
It's remarkable. And again, the red halter top thing is just very odd.
Is that a halter top, or do you think that's just a different, like it's like a full body suit? That's just
it's not
multiple
actually.
colors?
Well, boy, I don't know who made. Definitely don't look at SteveandKyle.com/merch. So this was Captain Planet and the Planeteers, more commonly referred to as Captain Planet. This would be like Captain Parent and the Army of Dumb. Definitely don't seek us out there, intellectual property owner for Captain Planet.
Captain Parent. Okay. All right.
Listen,
Wasn't expecting to go down this route, but
I'm
here we
interested.
are.
I'm interested to hear how you're going to develop as you see your house. Listen, we've got doors now covered by this crap.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that I can't get rid of yet because he sees that. He knows he taped him up. And by the way, kids and tape.
Not great.
Worst combination known to man. I started buying my tape on Amazon in bulk, Steve.
That's why we went with the. I picked up a couple of bulletin boards when I painted the little playroom here last year. Picked up a couple of. They're 4 foot by 4 foot bulletin boards, and that is where the majority of the art goes. Oh wait, it's downstairs, out of sight, out of mind. That falls off. Garbage.
Okay. Do you have to hide the kids' artwork on a bulletin board?
In the basement.
But we've gone too far.
Yeah.
We did not intend to get down a road of creating Captain Parent and the army of dumb kids or whatever.
Don't we need a fifth?
We don't have a fourth or fifth.
Oh, I thought we had a fourth was line of credit.
That was third, I believe. Either way, we'll develop this character more fully. Because, we had Shroud of Darkness.
Oh, so line of credit.
Mobility. Line of credit.
Can be shown just as a wallet with just fat stacks of money falling out of it with arms and legs.
These are all things that have to combine to create Captain Parent, who, again, is a character who, in the middle of the night, removes all of your kids' terrible artwork and gets rid of it. That's the point of this hero.
Yes. Yeah. So when you have an excess of artwork, you basically shine the Captain Parent beacon.
You go find your 5 rings
into the sky.
Darkness, mobility, line of credit,
Child stupidity.
Together, these powers combine to create Captain Parent.
And he just shows up at the door with a garbage can. Or maybe a shredder. He shows up with a shredder and shreds the artwork.
Yep. And again, under the dark of night. It's beautiful.
Well, oh, boy.
That's as your daughter enter, I'm very curious because the artwork load is about to increase based on my experience tenfold coming home once Evelyn will start going to kindergarten daily.
Yeah.
It's going to be overwhelming to have to look at that and smile every single day. So I'll be curious to hear how that plays out.
Probably one of our better ideas from 2024. Well thought out. We thought of all the 5 rings or powers. You know.
I sit here thinking about that, listening back to that, and realizing that this is the holiday that the kids they don't want to go to bed for. Santa's not coming overnight. Easter Bunny's not leaving eggs.
No.
They wake up. They're going to walk around and go, Mama, Dada, where was my gobble turkey? And somehow you have to explain to them that while they went to sleep without a credit card and unable to walk properly in the middle of the night, a man came in with a portable shredder and took gobble turkey to gobble turkey heaven.
It's okay, Reed. You'll understand when you have a driver's license.
Right now you don't understand, and that's because Chase Bank does not look at you as a viable candidate for their 19.9% APR.
Did we ever come up with merch for Captain Parent?
No. Listening back to that, I had dug a little bit into the AI realm, and this was going to need to be a combination of a correct AI prompt as well as some artistic ability on our end, and that is, as we've talked about, somewhat limited.
Not happening.
But
Not happening.
now that we got the 3D printer out there,
Yeah, we'll
I think there's some hope in the future for Captain Parent.
Now, another thing that people have just been clamoring for merch for. In fact, you're wearing the merch, the one of one right now.
Yes.
A shirt adorned with the logo for dozerdeals.dig
Dozerdeals.dig.
for the best dozer deals on the net.
Apostrophe net.
Yeah, you had pulled up here to record the podcast one day, and you had some questions based on something that was parked out front, and I'm not sure if I was offended or flattered.
I really do
by
hesitate
the line
to
of
ask.
question.
Okay.
Because I feel like I might know the answer, but I also don't want to know the answer
Okay.
because, listen, the drive to your house is pretty mundane, right? I take side roads.
Yep.
It's neighborhood, across a few roads, different neighborhood.
Through the gates.
Yeah, obviously, tell the butler, I'm here again. But when I rounded the final corner today, there was something amiss.
Oh, yes. I know
And
what
this
you're talking about.
it's not out of the ordinary. No. This specific item is. But, a lot of times, an additional car, if your mother-in-law's here, maybe the Comanche's out getting some sun.
Just airing her out for a weekend.
You're not going to believe this gas stinks in the cab again, so we got to air her out. But today, I came around and noticed something that I there's no way I couldn't ask you about it based on your history at this house. Because parked in the very front of your home,
Yeah.
with about 4 cones surrounding it.
Yeah, just in case you couldn't see it.
Yeah. It's like the cable truck who puts 1 cone in the back.
When they park in your driveway.
Yeah, listen, man, if I'm DPT and I'm on my way home from a night at the tavern,
Right.
your 1 cone isn't saving anything at that point.
No.
But in the front of your house was a full-sized bulldozer.
Yeah, standing roughly, 17 feet tall. Those things are big, aren't they?
Again, the curb in front of your house. I can't tell you. I wish there was a camera on my physical reaction when I came around the corner. I think it was a mix of a head shake and an eye roll, because already I'm going through the list of what in the hell could Steve possibly
Sure.
be doing now.
Sure, because I would assume that your first thought is that is mine. I have bought a bulldozer.
Well, either that or it's in front of your house because you've booked a service.
Yeah.
And so you've decided, the one swing set in the back wasn't good enough.
No.
You're putting in a guest house or something.
See, I'm disappointed because you know me better than that.
Okay.
Yes, there's probably a project that I want to do. But
That
you
would
know,
need a bulldozer.
But you know that I'm not going to hire a bulldozer company. I'm going to buy a bulldozer. Because I'm going to save, $50, $75 on this.
So you're going to the Dozer Net.
So I'm going on Dozer Deals.
And then, listen.
Dozerdeals.dig. Because they're, you got like .com,
I'll
.org
post it on the poll. Do you find the best deals
on dozerdeals.dig.
at dozerdeals.dig?
Do you find the best dozer deals at dozerdeals.dig?
That's a good business shirt. So, I'm really scared to ask. Is this yours?
Maybe put that on the polls too. Did Steve buy a bulldozer?
And if it is, what in God's name are you doing?
The bulldozer sitting out front of our house.
Is this finally Pool Steve? I'm a little bit. I'm thinking.
Oh yeah. That would be. Boy, it would really expedite the process. I'd probably
While it's here, it's yours. So I
probably
guess it's
ruin
not
my-
going anywhere.
ruin my sprinkler lines though.
No. You just dig around them.
Kyle, the bulldozer is not mine. I hate to disappoint you.
Man. Okay. Well,
Biggest upset?
that's a huge upset. But I would bet now, after seeing that thing parked in front of your house,
I want a bulldozer.
You've never been more invested in buying a bulldozer.
I want a bulldozer so badly. The kids were playing in it yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because there's still a little bit of dirt in the bucket on the front.
Okay.
So yeah, they were having a blast in there.
So tell me this. Full honesty here, just you and I.
Yeah, just us.
Did you climb in the cab and make bulldozer sounds?
I did not. Did I want to? Hell yes.
So did you start immediately like a pro and con list with no cons? Because
Yeah.
obviously you're trying to influence the jury
Look,
here. The jury of a net.
I went to the FAQ page on dozerdeals.dig.
Yep. Again, where you find your best dozer deals.
Clicking around there. Why do I need a bulldozer? Oh, of course. They got a whole list of reasons you can need a bulldozer.
Yeah. You never know when you'll need to, dig up, Grandma Edith.
From the yard.
Presumably buried in your backyard.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I've found way worse things back there than a dead body. No, it turns out that last summer the township was paving a bunch of roads in our neighborhood, and we're on the list this year.
Okay.
So they showed up yesterday, which was surprising. It was on a Saturday afternoon. They showed up, and they started like pulling the manhole covers out of the road. They had like this little jackhammer thing, and it was chopping up the ground, and then they were pulling the manhole covers out, and they stacked them on the side of the road. So I'm assuming that they're going to start like any day now, grading all of the old road up, putting down fresh new road. So it's going to be the next couple days will probably be a little bit of a mess getting in and out of the house. But this is great news for me. Because a couple months ago,
I feel so bad. So based on your work schedule, I feel so bad for these poor city workers, which, listen, Annette understands because she was one.
she's probably going to pick up some part-time work.
Because in my head, you're out at the end of the driveway, one hand in pocket, other hand around a mug.
Yeah.
It's 11:30 because I don't know what time your radio show ends.
Yeah.
So you're home, and you're sitting there watching these poor guys just try to get their job done. And every
Lawn
time...
chair. I'm in a lawn chair, by the way.
Every
Got
time...
the Polly Walnuts like mirror out because I'm getting myself some sun.
And every time they throttle down for whatever reason, right? You slowly, you make middle-aged man noises. Get up from the chair and slowly walk those last few steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, good grade on that one then?
Is that what's the mixture of asphalt to dirt? Is that like a spring mix or a summer mix?
And just immediately no answer, and the throttle goes back up. Just idling, though, just so he doesn't have to hear you any further.
The guy's sitting there in the cab of the bulldozer eating his ham sandwich.
Again, it's his lunch.
Yeah.
And now he has to take his lunch
Yeah.
at 95 decibels, the equivalent of a jet engine or whatever,
Yeah.
just so annoying neighborhood guy will leave him alone about the bulldozer he's in.
Look, you come into the Zach, you're going to get asked questions. We're a tight-knit group around here. We got to make sure things are on the up and up. I don't want them grading this thing wrong. What if all the runoff water ends up in my basement?
Right?
You know?
That's how it goes. Cul-de-sac to one house's basement is like a direct pipe. Right? What if they run the pipe?
Yeah. That would be rather suspicious.
Like, hey, we need to get into your basement, and you're so starstruck by Dozer Guy.
Are you Donnie Dozer? I've read about you.
Donnie Dozer? Wait! You're from DozerDeals.dig!
I sense some new merch coming.
Yes. I already have the AI machine on it. I have a couple of really good options here. I like the third one that looks to be, which would be our Donnie Dozer, a large bear.
Is that a dog or a bear?
No, that's a fair question.
Can I see that again? I like the one next to it that looks like it's straight out of Cars.
Yeah.
Where it's a dozer, but it has like the big eyes in place of the windshield, and it says, "The best place for all your dozer deals."
Which is doserdeals.dig.
Doserdeals.dig.
This is
and Donnie Dozer, again, half bear, half bulldozer.
Yes.
And wearing a sash.
Yes.
That says doserdeals.dig.
Well, obviously he's the mascot,
right?
And he's always supporting doserdeals.dig.
Yeah, well, that's what Donnie Dozer does.
I would be. My question to you is: has the neighborhood group chat, the next door, whatever, has it been blown up with discussion about this big operation?
No, not yet. I know that neighbor Justin across the street, he acknowledged the dozer yesterday.
Yeah,
and so I think all of us are just kind of waiting. We're waiting to see what Donnie Dozer's next move is.
well, of course. Yeah.
Do I do the like?
This is the biggest news for you around here in weeks, months.
No,
Probably since the last person died, right?
I want you to answer me honestly.
Yeah.
Do I set up a little table of lemonade at the bottom of the driveway so Donnie Dozer can have a nice little snack?
Yeah.
Do I do that?
I think it's 50 cents a cup.
Oh no, this is free
Just complimentary for the hard-working dozers.
Yeah, because we appreciate Donnie and Danny Dozer's hard work.
Let me ask you this honestly. What are the odds that they come back, day 3 of this project, whatever. They've already had enough of call that guy.
Who's driving over their fresh asphalt every day.
Trying to leave handprints in different spots.
Write my initials. Write Jeep.
Until you finally had like 3 notices in your mailbox.
Like, please stop doing this.
Sir, we've requested, now we're telling.
Yeah.
Stop leaving your insignia in our asphalt.
Donnie Dozer's already at 40 hours this week. If he has to come out one more time, Donnie Dozer's working double time.
This operation does not have double time factored in. So the odds that, they come back on day 3, bleary-eyed, ready to be done.
Yeah.
And they find a freshly sparkling, cleanly washed dozer. Because Steve wanted to do something nice for the dozer gang.
Get the power washer out.
A little wax. They're really getting in there on some of the blemishes.
I bet they'd love it. They would be so happy.
It's funny. I've read a book, and it had a lot to do with
dozers,
construction equipment and stuff.
Oh.
And it's centered around Christmas. And as all of the construction vehicles are leaving the site, they each encounter new gifts.
Oh, I think I've read this book as well.
What I'm saying is you're right out of a children's book.
What was the name of that book?
A construction site at Christmas night or something like that. Yeah, you're a cartoon caricature from a children's book.
Yeah.
I still, much like, a parent waiting for a child to return home, I see you in a commercial, just longingly staring out that front window. Cup of tea in your hand.
Yeah.
Maybe fingertips on frosted glass, frosted pane.
Yeah.
As you so desperately wait for those familiar rumbles of a dozer to come around the corner so you can then jump up and down and then accidentally knock Nikki B over on your way to the front door so you can be the first on the porch to see the dozer drop the dozer part of the bulldozer. Would the bull be the back half? And then the dozer would be the working half?
I never split them up like that. I never thought that was like a compound word.
Yeah, you think where they would sit would be the bull, and then the working half would be the dozer.
But I don't know. But bulls
are going to be
they're working.
So maybe you're
working animals.
We need a dozer guy, and right now Donnie Dozer is busy
at dozerdeals.dig. Yeah. Now we absolutely are known on this podcast. Everybody that approaches us to talk about the podcast, which is just hundreds and hundreds of people, they talk about how they love our outlandish and ridiculous adventures.
It had been a while.
We went to Boston for roughly 12 hours. We went to Van Wert, Ohio to stand in a parking lot and look up at our faces on a billboard.
Of a carpet fabrication store?
Where else have we gone? Didn't we go one more place? Don't remember. But in 2024, we had to bring it back. And we had to go to Kyle, Texas for the meeting.
We cannot go one moment further.
Mm-hmm.
Because we need to give some highlights and lowlights and midlights of our trip to the Austin, Texas area a week ago.
Mm-hmm. Apologies once again for how terrible that audio sounded.
Yeah,
it was just... I mean, I guess what were we expecting for $20 microphones that we got off of Amazon 2 days
Seems like your battery wasn't on or yours wasn't connecting a few of the times. I had some people say that you did a live on the Facebook when I was in the corrals.
Yeah, no audio.
Your audio wasn't on.
Yep.
So again, apologies. It was a fever dream.
I was saying nothing, by the way. You missed nothing. It was just me like, here I am.
Yeah.
It's really hot.
It was a fever dream just in terms of how we had to handle it and how we were what felt like running around and trying to make the best of the very, 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 very little time we had there.
What I enjoyed was this past Saturday, like 2 days ago Saturday, I was kind of reliving the weekend before in my head. Like it was around noon and I thought, oh, this time last week we had just gotten to, we had just left the airport. We just picked up the rental car. And then what seemed like about 15 minutes later, I was like, oh, and at this time we were getting back to the airport. And I'd watched a 10-minute YouTube video and that was that was the max amount of time that we were actually there.
Yeah, it was. So if you didn't listen to the audio that we put together on the car ride there and on the car ride back to the airport, you may have missed the biggest misadventure, which was probably the night before. At 9:40 p.m., our flight for 6:35 a.m. the following morning was delayed 2.5 hours. So our connection in Detroit was going to be missed. So we were rebooked and rebooked separately. As I came to find out, not really rebooked separately, but Steve really went into business for himself.
Well, I mean, I had if we had booked our flights together, I would have been happy to have changed your flight too, but we booked separately. And so I did what I could do. I went in and I selected my flight. I think I was the last seat on that flight.
As it turns out, yes, you were. Because I was frantically on the phone.
You left an hour before me, went through Atlanta, and got to Austin a half hour after me.
I was supposed to land 9 minutes before you.
Yeah. I left an hour after you, went through Minneapolis, and got there again about a half hour. I had enough time to get off the plane, walk through the airport, go to the rental car place, pick up the rental car, and then it couldn't have been timed any better. I swung back around to the arrivals gate as you were walking out the door.
Yes.
I mean, in hindsight, it worked flawlessly. It saved us a half hour's worth of time.
Hopped in, and we were on the road driving while trying to figure out where we were driving to.
Right. I said to the GPS, "Get me to Kyle, Texas," because I knew that's at least in the right direction.
So yeah, we arrived to what turns out was in fact Kyle, Texas. Not a ton of markings as we just parked on the side of a neighborhood street.
Yeah, I was shocked to see that park. It was just a neighborhood park. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I was thinking it was going to be some kind of like a more well-known fairgrounds type of area, which it very well may be. And maybe we just came in like a weird way or something, a back entrance or something like that. But yeah, we parked in front of someone's house. We hoofed it a couple of blocks and then there we were.
At a random field. Lake Kyle Park, Austin, Texas.
Not a tree or a speck of shade to be seen.
Not a tree, no shade, no water, no tables, no chairs, nothing. Just an entryway.
A lot of food trucks.
Just an entryway into what would be the equivalent of your local carnival, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. So as soon as we walked in, I started noticing, I'm like, man, everyone's wearing the same shirt. And it all says, "Hi, my name is Kyle." And then, so
we were obviously looking a little confused. You had a bright yellow shirt on that said
Yes.
Kyle. I had a bright yellow shirt on that said I'm with Kyle. And quickly somebody came up to us and said, "Are you looking for the Kyle registration?" We said, "Yep." They said, "Right over there." Pointed us in the direction. We went over there. We got you registered. You signed some autographs with your fellow Kyles. By the way, that video that I recorded and sent to you, has there ever been a better example of how an Android phone can take something so nice and turn it into something so crappy?
We'll repost it. Maybe repost it from the original source.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I still have it.
I didn't even bother to delete it. By the time I saw it finally did, in fact, get uploaded, I didn't even bother to verify its...
I mean, it took a full frame HD video, downsized it so it was just a tiny block in the center of the screen, pixelated it so it looked like the Zapruder film. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the audio was bad to begin with, but it made it even worse.
Yeah, awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were wandering around, obviously just a sea of Kyles. As every Kyle there is a superstar, though, right?
Yeah.
Someone
It was
handed
your
me
moment.
Oh, I felt so good too to finally be the star of the show that I hate. I'm high-fiving people.
I know.
And again, people are getting their shirts signed, all with the name Kyle on them, handing out stickers. It's an absolute joy to be among my brothers and very, very few sisters, also named Kyle.
Yeah.
So we work our way around and realize that, hey, they're going to be doing the counting.
There was no
minute.
time to spare because the count took place at what time? 2:00, I think.
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Well,
okay,
yes.
so we left the airport at 12. We had a 35-minute drive.
Yeah.
Got there, parked about, we had a 5-10 minute walk. By the time you got registered, it was like, all right, we got 5 minutes. They were making an announcement. Hey, if you want to be part of the Kyle count, you got 5 minutes to get to this one penned off area that they had set up. And as the gentleman from Guinness said, technically, Guinness says that a gathering means that you have to be in the same spot for 5 minutes.
Right, 5 consecutive minutes. And that was, I don't know how they came to that description or whatever.
It's just whatever their regulations are.
Yeah, so the current record, obviously held by Ivan in some town in Serbia. In 2017, we're at 2,400-ish.
I think it was
Ivans.
2,309.
Okay. Ivans gathered and were declared by Guinness to be the largest gathering of people with the same first name in one place. So this is, I think it might only be the second attempt. I honestly don't know. For the Kyles to break it. So when we talked about this initially last year, they had 1,430 something.
That's a pretty good.
That's
pretty
a good
good
number.
effort for the first try.
Yeah, for
That's
a small
really
area in Texas.
Yeah.
I don't know for certain. I'm guessing public transport, all that other stuff is a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean,
over where the Ivans got together.
Yeah, I feel like if this was in like New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, a major metropolitan area, Miami, you'd probably be able to top it pretty easily just based on the sheer number of people in those areas. But this is Kyle, Texas.
Yeah, not exactly the hubbub of Texas, not exactly the hot spot you think it might be.
Although Austin's a pretty big...
Austin is, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I would argue this would be considered a rural Austin at best.
30 miles from Austin.
So when we get in the corral, now I'm kind of in the sea of people, and so I don't see the scope of things, right? It's a bit of a whirlwind. I don't really know what's going on outside of, I'm going in, I'm going to go underneath this flag that says if your number is between 700 and 800, try to stand here.
Yeah, so I did have, now obviously I wasn't allowed in. I'm not a Kyle. I was restricted to the outside area.
Yeah.
Now this pen type area, I would say was roughly the size of a football field. Mm-hmm. And like you said, flags for 0 to 100, 100 to 200, 200 to 300. Now you had number 706, I think.
Yeah, 7 something, yeah.
So I kind of had a 10,000 foot view of this whole thing. I'm overlooking the whole thing. You're in the middle of it. You're in the middle of the mess. There's Kyles everywhere. I'd imagine the excitement was high. everybody's high-fiving, all talking about how your names are Kyle. I don't know what you're doing in there. But I'm standing back and I'm looking. Now, if I look to my left, that's where 0 to 100 is. If I look to my right, that's the higher numbers. 2,000 to 2,100, 2,100 to 2,200. And I'm noticing something. Noticing that all of the people seem to be to my left. There's only a handful of people to my right. I was looking at those flags. Some of them, not one person standing anywhere near them. And there was one flag that had one person standing next to it. So I thought, okay, everyone's just so excited that they pushed their way to the front. You know, like general admission for Van Halen.
Right. You gotta get in the pit.
The doors open. Boom. Everybody's right up front.
How else will I touch my favorite rock star's hand?
So you guys spend your 5 minutes in there. They say, all right, 5 minutes is up. We're going to make the announcement soon on the official count. And the pens open. All the Kyles come forth. And we decide, hey, while they're doing the count, let's go grab some food or a drink. And kind of knew it was a bad sign when the count didn't take a whole lot of time.
Well, this thing had bad juju from the start because Guinness guy, who was up on the stage,
He was not happy.
did not want to be in Kyle, Texas that day.
Sure did.
Okay, so the way he was speaking to the crowd, just while filtering in and reminding, hey, only if your name's Kyle, you must show your, what do they call those things that marathon runners wear?
Oh, the bib.
The bib.
Yeah.
You must show your bib to be able to get in because that's how they're, and then they had hand clickers to count everybody who would walk into the gated area.
Yeah. Very official. Very official.
And he had said from the stage, if you get in there, your name's not Kyle. I have no problem throwing this whole thing out. I do not care. He was very clear on this.
It was aggressive. It was an aggressive tone.
So, yeah,
for something that I, you know, not to insult your people, but I think it was meant to be more tongue in cheek and fun.
And also, you're the Guinness Book of World Records. You have world records for, like, longest fart and, like,
Right.
ugliest dog and biggest toenails. Like,
Right.
let's not act like you're above what you're doing here.
Stop acting superior.
And so you and I, like you said, we decide we're going to go get something to eat. And we walk to the world's most abandoned food truck area. Not a soul within.
They really could have put those food trucks closer. They could have tightened up the circle a bit.
No question. No question. So we're looking around and we start hearing from the distance, Guinness guy.
We're going to make the announcement. But there was music playing, so we were kind of like, are they doing the announcement now? I'm not sure. Let's head back.
So we don't even make it 20 feet before he's reading. He's got his his thing to read, and he's ready to go. We can barely hear it.
I'm pretty sure that guy made the announcement from the front seat of his car as he was driving away, and then threw the microphone out the window.
Wanted to beat the traffic, which, as you'll come to find out, wasn't as much of an issue as you'd think. So he does a very tiny preamble, which saying, the record's held by the Ivan, essentially what we've already told you. He said, and today you've gathered 706 Kyles. And then he added on, I remember this distinctly, so not even close.
Not even a third. Not even half of last year.
They lost more than 50% of 1 year ago's attendance, which was still 40% short of what they needed to get.
But again, for a first attempt, I thought it was really impressive.
Yeah.
And you naturally think, well, if we got this many this year, there's only room for growth because now this is going to be the second year of it. And remember, the news stories went viral last year. Everyone's going to hear about that and say, "Oh, I didn't even know about it last year, but now I know about it, so I'm gonna make the trip."
Incredible. And the only outcome this is the best outcome. That you and I went down there. We flew. We were up in the 4 a.m. hour. Mm-hmm. Flew for a total of, between there and back, we were traveling itself for what, 12 hours, 13 hours?
We got to add up I mean, our flights were about $300 a piece or so.
Yeah, two something. Yeah.
We had a rental car in there. We had, I just got an email from the numerous tolls that we blew through on the way. Nice email from Hertz saying, yeah, nice try. There's another $20 there. Yeah. We had some snacks, things like that. I mean, I bet we're pushing $800-900
Boy, maybe
for this whole trip.
And we were again on the ground.
BOG. The amount of time that we were outside of an airport was less than 3 hours.
I'd say probably close to less than 2, but yes, you're 100% correct. It's less than 3 hours.
I remember walking out of the airport, looking at, or as I picked you up, it was like 12:02 because in our head we thought, hey, if we could be on the road by 12, I think we're going to make it. And we were on the road by 12.
Yeah.
And we were back, I think it was 2:40 when we pulled back into the rental car drop off. So
the saddest sight known to man. They announced that we are woefully short, and the Guinness guy, I didn't hear this, Steve. You said somebody yelled up something about, we'll see you next year. Yeah. And you said the Guinness guy replied,
absolutely not.
He is not coming back.
No, I wonder how that works. I would assume that Guinness just has like employee representatives kind of placed all over the world because they're not going to fly somebody from Dublin to Kyle, Texas because a bunch of idiots want to, set a record.
Yeah.
They probably have contract employees at various places throughout the world.
Yeah. This Austin local wanted nothing more than to get away from the gathering of the Kyles.
Yeah.
One of the saddest sights known to man.
Yeah.
Was the MC, whoever it was, taking the stage and practically begging the 700 or so people there, please stay. We've got the DJ playing for another hour. There's all they had carnival games, slides, pop the balloon for a stuffed animal, all this stuff. And I've never seen people hit the exits as fast as this in my life.
It was a mass exodus pretty quick.
So all in all, a very worthwhile trip.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I think next year's when we do it, I think we break the record in 2025.
For Kyle Fest?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I will not be going back. I believe as we were walking out the doors, I said, well, I guess there's always Steve Fest, which we haven't found yet, but
yeah. It's funny. This seemed to have caught, I'm not going to say national traction, this event, right? But it had made its way.
I saw the local news stations here posting about it.
And obviously people around the country and, had known about this. So when I am in the airport on the way to Texas, and again, you and I had been split up. So I was in Atlanta while you were in Minneapolis.
And you, again, I mean, in context, our shirts are funny because you're wearing a shirt that says Kyle. I'm wearing a shirt that says I'm with Kyle with an arrow pointing to you. Yeah. But when we're separated, boy, is there nothing funnier than people saying, where's Kyle? At least 20 times.
I'm sitting in the lobby in Atlanta near my gate, and a guy 25 feet away from me stands up, walks over, goes, I'm going to take a shot in the dark here. Are you going to the Kyle Fest in Kyle, Texas? And I said, yes. Are you kidding? He said, I'm going to. Another Kyle from West Michigan was on his way. I think he had ulterior motives. He met a girl in Dominican Republic and was sleeping over there.
Wow, so, you really got the
we talked for quite a
rundown.
While. Good guy, great guy. Meant to get a picture of him when we were in Texas. Did not see him.
You get his contact info?
No, I know his name, though. I do know his name. I could find him on social media. I know where he's at.
That could have been your friend this year.
I thought about it.
That could have been.
I thought about it. Maybe I'll reach out. Maybe I'll reach out to this Kyle who also went down to the Kyle Fest in Austin, Texas.
How are you going to reach out?
I know his name. I can search for him on social media.
Kyle, Michigan.
Yeah. Kyle from West Michigan who went to Kyle, Texas for the Kyle Fair. Boom.
Sure.
How many are going to pop up? 2? Me and him? So on the way home, though, Steve, you and I, minor celebrities.
We were celebrities walking through the airport. I always made sure to be on your right-hand side because that made the arrow point the correct direction. Mm-hmm. And But I mean, walking through the airport in, what was it? We flew through Detroit on the way back. Even when we were in Austin in the airport, people were loving it. They were eating it up.
Taking pictures.
They see us walking. Can we take pictures of you? I can only assume that we're on multiple different websites and Facebook groups titled things like, look at these a-holes and the way they're dressed.com or something, just mocking us mercilessly. I did do a search a few days later. I just typed in yellow Kyle shirts to see if like anything popped up. Didn't really see anything much, so I guess we didn't quite go viral. But yeah, so that's it. That's it in a nutshell.
If you're an internet scourer and you happen to come across, again, the location, the GPS data or whatever, if that's how you search for it, would be the Austin Bergstrom International Airport in Austin, Texas.
Yep.
And DTW, Detroit Metropolitan Airport, where, again, random people asked us, can we take your picture? And got on the airplane, and you and I had separate rows on our last flight home here. Or same flight, separate seats, separate seat assignments. And a guy asked me about it when I walked on too. Hey, are you coming from in Detroit? So obviously this thing permeated some of the culture, just not the Kyle culture, because nobody showed up.
I enjoyed any instance where I was a little bit ahead of you.
Yes.
Like getting on the plane, I got on the plane before you. And the flight attendant, oh, where's Kyle? And I said, you'll see him soon. Right. And gave the old, hey, he's back there. He's in line. So, top 3 stupidest things we've done? It's got to be, right?
And there's no way it's number 2 or number 3.
Yeah.
Can't wait for next year.
No.
It's hard to look back at that and listen back and think of something that was so close to going so wayward. Your flights canceled the night before.
I forgot about all of that.
Rebooking. So I was in Atlanta while you were in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And
That's right. We didn't fly down together, did we?
And I zip out of the airport and see that car just waiting in the pickup lane for me. And we fly through the suburban streets of Kyle, Texas to be a part of the biggest failure in the history of the Guinness Book of World Records.
Now, I know that we probably just discussed it in the segment. The record was like 2,300 or something.
It was in the 2000s, yeah.
And there were 700, roughly.
It came in at less than half of the year prior's attendance, which was like 1,500. Yeah, quite a dismal failure. So again, as you heard it there, can't wait for this year.
No. Will not be there in 2025.
Looking at flights already.
So another thing that I think is on the horizon is you and Katie moving at some point in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, somewhere in that time frame.
Yeah.
And based on that, we were having a discussion about if you're nervous about the house that you buy, is it going to be, what if it's haunted? And we broke it down even further as we do. Like, what's the most haunted room in a house? What would be the most terrifying haunted room in the house?
Knowing that we are considering moving, initially our thoughts were to look into moving this year, but based on just general goings on with the housing market.
Okay. Got some leads on some places.
Is it the one right there?
Yeah, the one with the for sale sign. Yeah. Priced lower than
you thought.
Lower than what we thought.
But like you said, that family, which again is now getting divorced, and being crushed and broken apart.
Yeah.
Children, loved ones just being destroyed. But you got to get that money. It doesn't seem like they even had enough time at that house to do the upgrades from the former woman who died.
Yeah.
So that it would
died
seem...
in the church parking lot.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Boy, you are breaking news right now. I did not know that.
Yeah.
So not in the house, though. But if you had to pick where you would haunt, you're not going to pick the church parking lot.
No.
You're going to pick the homestead.
Is it weird to think that hauntings... side tangent.
Total side tangent.
Hauntings, to me, need to happen indoors.
You don't want to be an outdoor haunter.
It's rough to have an outdoor haunting.
Or what about an outdoor hauntee?
Like every time I go get the mail, this effing poltergeist is causing all the ruckus.
Right.
Every time I go to the mailbox, the flag's up, the door's open, doesn't matter the time of day, because of the GD poltergeist who won't leave me alone.
But see, I just, being a hauntee myself, I don't think that I would be haunted by an outdoor spirit.
It would be more of an irritant than anything.
I'd be walking to the mailbox and be like, "Oh, you again." You
would have that eye roll, and everybody, every time someone asks you, like, "Oh, why can't you park your car in the driveway?" Oh boy, here we go again. Now I have to explain that every time my gas cap door is slightly ajar because of the poltergeist in my driveway.
Yeah, maybe put this on the poll: is an outdoor haunting more of just an inconvenience?
You're right, though, because inside it's your dojo.
Exactly. I'm at peace in here. I'm comfortable in here.
What is, if you had to pick your most preferred and least preferred room in the house
to be haunted,
which would you pick?
Least preferred would be the bedroom.
Sure.
Because that's
you're sleeping.
It's the relaxation station. Most preferred, I guess it would...
much different than when you were in your 20s and lived, and it was the bone zone.
Right, yeah, totally different. I would say probably the laundry room. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to be in there anyway, you know?
Right, so if you have a separate laundry room, which obviously you do here at the estate.
Yeah.
That is, I think you're right.
It is big, too. I think it's 5 feet wide.
Yeah, and just to show how big it was, if I remember it, when you guys bought, you said, I'm going to, just to show this off, I'm going to put the dryer on one side.
Yeah.
And the washer on the other.
Yeah.
So that way when I need to transfer laundry, I'm getting my workout in as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, either that or I'm throwing stuff like a football pass from one end to the other.
Wrapping up clothes into balls and, testing out the arm.
Yeah.
I think bathroom in my head, I thought bathroom, but then I'm like, no. I don't want to be showering, trying to get into a zen, right?
And
then
have stupid reply to say bathroom,
and then have shampoo pouring down from the container, right?
Right.
I don't know why these hauntings in my head aren't actually hurting me.
That's how they would haunt you. They'd just help you wash your hair.
Darn you, Razgoo the demon.
Was that Razgoo?
Yeah, Razgoo. He's Italian.
Okay. So in your world, your house is haunted by Razgoo the Italian demon.
Shampooing my hair.
Got it. So it's just a minor inconvenience, a little bit of an insult too, because of, the whole hair situation.
Oh, obviously. Yeah, at this point, he's Italian laughing at me.
Right. Well, and if he's Italian, he's got long, flowing, dark locks.
No question. Yeah. With chest hair, demon chest hair, but chest hair nonetheless, from his navel popping up to... There's no part from his navel to his nose without hair.
This is Razgoo.
This is Razgoo, the Italian demon, who haunts me by shampooing me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Basement storage room, second least offensive, right? Or does that kind of bring back childhood kind of
a little
fear
bit?
Of those?
I'm getting kind of Home Alone feels from that. Remember whenever Kevin would go down? Yeah, Kevin would go down in the basement.
Boy, I do like to now. Listen, I'm a person who believes in ghosts. Mm-hmm. We've talked about our not conspiracies, but the stuff we believe in that people might consider fringe or dumb. Mm-hmm. And you and I are fully on board with UFOs.
Yep.
Obviously, JFK wasn't shot by Lee Harvey Oswald. He was just part of a big cover-up. And
I think he had
a bad day.
LHO had something to do with it
at the book boxing, and was just the scapegoat for that. I'm fully on board with ghosts.
Yeah.
So it helps
ghosts are real.
Me to think about them as just harmless, not being able to do anything, like expending all of their energy at night to, again, slightly open your gas cap. Or putting your mailbox flag up to the point where the mailman has to leave you a notice saying, please stop leaving your flag up if there's no actual mail.
Now, I think the outlier to this whole theory about how outdoor places cannot be haunted
the obvious outlier is the graveyard.
In the woods. For some reason,
Yeah.
I feel like the woods are all haunted.
Okay, so the woods and the graveyard.
Yeah. But the roadways, your highways and byways.
No.
No.
Although I do kind of like those, have you been to Gravity Hill? Or if you
right.
if you put your car in neutral at the bottom of the hill and sprinkle baby powder on your back bumper, the ghosts of like demon babies will push you up the hill,
Right. That is,
and you'll see their fingerprints.
that is not a Razgoo haunting. That's a legitimate, like, murder people haunting you, right?
Yeah, Razgoo, he is not aligned with them at all. He is not okay with that.
Again, Razgoo's power starts and stops at the shampoo bottle. I mean, there's got to be some ghosts. You know that if you stop at one of the dozens of uniform rest stops, like the Jersey Turnpike, right? Which they're all like the big gray buildings. You pull off so you don't have to get off the turnpike and repay to get on. You know that
pay $32 for your Burger King.
That's right. You know that there's some workers there. Like, oh yeah. Oh no. This one's haunted. Mm-hmm. And if you're a ghost, just send me to hell rather than haunt a rest stop on the turnpike.
Boy, that would be a bummer. It would be one thing if you were a ghost at a really fancy old hotel,
Right.
because then you get to live a pretty sweet life, living in a nice room. You know, maybe they got a pool. Get to go downstairs and raid the kitchen fridge in the middle of the night. But yeah, if I'm a ghost at a rest stop, like that would just suck.
Yeah. Oof.
Who do you think determines like the rank and file of where you get to haunt when you're a ghost? Is it simply based on where you died?
That would be my interpretation.
Or do they send you out? Is it like a mission trip?
But then if you think about that, the hospital would just be literally overflowed with ghosts, right? And that can't be true.
No, that's absolutely
You
true.
think that's true?
Yeah. Go to the morgue. They're all down there.
I could see a morgue being a haunt.
Sure.
And I posted in the poll, what's a worse ghost state, haunting a rest stop or hell? Mm-hmm. I'm glad we're able to dig into this. Have you ever thought in your life...
How did we get to this, by the way?
Oh, we're talking about Disney World.
Of course.
Have you ever thought that you were near a haunting?
Yes.
Or being... You have.
Yes.
I love it.
This was back when I first moved into my old house. And I woke up. I was in bed. I was having a dream. And in the dream, something was pulling me out of bed.
Okay.
And I swear to God, I woke up half hanging off the bed, feeling like something was still pulling on my arm. And it, just thinking about it gives me goosebumps.
The physical feeling
creepy.
of actually being moved.
It was very creepy.
Raises the hair on my arms a little bit.
Yep.
Oh, I love it. Oh,
Yeah.
I do.
What
love
about you?
that. Yes. Yeah. I not personally haunted, but fascinated with ghosts and stuff like that. Been around plenty of situations where feel like things being thrown,
Okay.
rocks in general direction that are unexplained. Just whew.
Tell me more. Where did you get rocks thrown at you?
Is that a cemetery?
Oh, okay. Well, it fits in.
Right.
Obviously.
Obviously, it's overloaded with haunted. Well, no, people that... Here's the thing. If you think about it, the cemetery should be the least haunted place on the planet.
Nobody dies in the cemetery.
Right. You're just transported there.
Unless the people that are buried there, maybe still got a little life left in them.
Oh, so you're thinking a buried alive situation.
Yeah. Is there a worse thing? Is there a worse, like, absolute, the biggest nightmare to be buried alive?
Like, wake up, hear the dirt hitting on top of you.
No. You don't even hear the dirt. You wake up after they have filled the thing. Like, they've already put down grass seed on the dirt up top. You hear nothing. It is eerily quiet. Doesn't matter how loud you scream. No one's going to hear you through 6 feet of dirt and a concrete tomb.
Boy, this got really sad. Because I was just thinking in my head, like, oh, no, there's got to be a way out. And I'm running through these scenarios in my head, and there's no way out.
No.
And not only is there no way out, Steve, but unless someone came and buried you with, your favorite butcher knife, there's no way to even end it quickly.
No. Oh, that would be terrible, too. Have to stab yourself. Boy, this did get dark. So back to Disney World.
Yeah, let's lighten the mood up. So your divorced neighbors are hitting the road. Now, last week, this was big news in the Zag.
Yeah.
And to the point where I walked in and you could barely avert your gaze
I was bubbling.
from the phone because you were checking if there were viewings, if it showed pending yet.
I believe they're called showings. I think viewings is when
Would be for the cemetery,
when someone is dead.
funeral home, yeah.
Some call them wakes.
Well,
some call them viewings.
The marriage is dead, so I guess it kind of applies.
Yes.
Can a marriage punt the 5-gallon bucket?
I mean, that's one for the listeners to answer.
Can't think of. Well, no, we can't. We just talked about it. I mean, the bathroom being haunted just seems more of an inconvenience
Yeah.
than it does a actual haunting. Reed will see YouTube videos of, and I don't know if you've seen this, like where they have on beaches, and maybe it's California and Florida, where they'll have like those showers when you get out.
Yeah.
Yet you'll see the prank of a guy leaning over the wall, constantly squirting shampoo on the
Yeah.
person, so they cannot get the shampoo out of their hair. And again, for me, that I don't have to worry about that. I can't help but think that is Razgoo. You're constantly getting shampoo.
Yeah, I mean, that is a modern day Razgoo
But again, he's an Italian demon, so you're just smelling like patchouli oil.
with lots of chest hair.
Lots of chest hair. Lots of chest hair. And as we sit here, as we wrap up this episode of the Year in Review, a lot of people are probably sitting there going, that can't be it.
No,
and you're
no.
right.
Oh,
It's not.
we've done much stupider things.
We are so self-centered that this is not where we ended our Year in Review. No. So this is the end of part 1 of what we looked real hard at our own navels and said, I can't cut this.
This is the best.
Coming up later this year, we're going to have the development of Captain Crash. Mm-hmm. Deep dive on our newest feud with a long deceased lyrics woman
Yeah.
regarding the Saints going marching in.
A very hearty debate on clocks and whether clocks are the cock of the walk for wall amenities. My dirt track racing dreams, all of that is going to be just a couple of days from now. If you're listening to this episode on the day that it came out, you just got a couple more days until part 2 of the 2024 Year in Review. So
See you then.
Talk to you then.